Mena, who is known for her fiery personality and no-holds-barred attitude, just dropped a bombshell that no one saw coming. She is pregnant and she is allegedly claiming that Mendeecees Harris might be the father. Yes, you heard that right. While Mendeecees is still very much with Yandy Smith, Erica's bold statement has sent shockwaves through the fan base. How did this happen? When did it happen? And most importantly, what is at the heart of all the rumors that are spreading, like wildfire? Crucially, is there any truth to it? According to people close to the matter, things began to go south after a recent love and hop shoot in which Erica and Mines were seen having multiple off-camera conversations. Yandy allegedly had no idea what was going on until now. Emotions are running high, accusations are flying, and fans are demanding answers. Is this just another attention-grabbing stunt? Or is there more to the story than anyone anticipated? Stay tuned, because what comes next will leave you speechless. News outlets, fan pages, and podcasts were all focused on the developing scandal. The morning after Erica's post, one blogger claimed to have seen Erica leaving a clinic with what appeared to be Mena paperwork in her purse, while another swore they overheard her on the phone saying, "I already know what the results are, but I want him to say it." Whether these claims were true or not, they added to the chaos. And fans were glued to their screens waiting for then came the leak that would rock everything to its foundation. A digital copy of what appeared to be a prenatal test started making the rounds online. The alleged mother and father's names were blurred out, but the document looked authentic. The results, however, were obvious, with a 99% chance. The internet went crazy. Some people said the test was photoshopped, while others insisted it was the smoking gun. The drama reached a record high, while Erica remained silent. Her fans bombarded, her comments demanding she didn't reply to any of the messages. Meanwhile, Mendeecees was seen leaving a restaurant in Atlanta with his manager, Paparazzi, who caught up to him. When asked about the NINO results, he merely shook his head and muttered, "No comment." However, his face conveyed a different message. He was exhausted, stressed, and obviously under pressure. Fans started interpreting every little detail in his body language. Yandy, on the other hand, was collapsing behind the scenes. According to insiders close to her, she had been crying for days, hardly eating, and refusing to leave her home. Friends tried to support her, but she wasn't talking to anyone. One source claimed she told the confidant, "I don't know what's worse, betrayal or humiliation." To fans, Yandy had always seemed like the then came the most unexpected turn of events. Erica agreed to sit down for an exclusive interview with the popular podcast. The teaser clip went viral before the full episode even dropped, showing her sitting in a dimly lit room wearing a hoodie and barely any makeup. Her voice trembled as she said, "I didn't want it to come to this. I won't be silenced anymore. I didn't want it to come to this, but I won't be silenced anymore," she said, her voice shaking. "I'm not proud of it," she said, wiping away a tear. "I knew it was wrong, but it happened. Nand never expected to get pregnant. Ubitans I did had a choice.ie 2 Mendeecees." With fans eagerly awaiting every word, Erica revealed that she and Mendeecees had been close during a difficult period in his marriage. She claimed it started innocently used conversations, venting and bonding over stress, but eventually things crossed the line. Erica went on to explain that she had reached out to men privately in the hopes of handling things quietly. But when he began ignoring her messages and acting as though nothing had happened, she felt compelled to speak out. "I kept thinking he would do the right thing," she said, "but instead he tried to make me feel like I was crazy, but I imagined it all. And that's when I realized I had to protect my child, even if it meant destroying bridges." When Menk posted a lengthy text message on his story, he didn't directly confirm or deny anything. T instead wrote, "People will say anything when they feel hurt. I've made mistakes, but I've never turned my back on my responsibilities. Why silence wasn't guilt. 'Twas protection from my family." The revelation sent shockwaves through the internet. leaving fans applauding her bravery and others questioning her timing and motivations. The overwhelming feeling was disbelief. That same night, Yandy went live. Her face was pale, her energy low, but her voice was steady. "I know you'll want answers," she started, "but honestly, I don't have them. I've been blindsided like the rest of you." She paused, taking a deep breath. "I love my husband. I believed in our family, and now." The post only generated more questions. What mistakes was he referring to? Fans broke down every line, trying to decode the truth, but nothing was clear. Yandy continued, "If this child is his, we'll deal with it, but I won't let lies destroy me. I need the truth, not stories, not blogs, not speculation. Facts." A few hours later, another video appeared. This time showing Mendeecees and Erica during a behind-the-scenes moment from a previous shoot. They were laughing, standing close, and looking way too comfortable. Fans who had rejected the idea of them having a relationship flooded the chat with supportive messages. Just when everyone thought things couldn't get any messier, a woman claiming to be Mendeecees' ex from years ago entered the chat. She posted a mysterious video on TikTok saying, "History repeats itself when lessons aren't learned." She didn't name anyone, but everyone assumed she was referring to Mendeecees. Connections suddenly had second thoughts. "Look at the body language." One titty talker commented, "You can't fake that kind of tension." The clip was dated just months before Erica's pregnancy announcement. The comment section exploded with theories. Some fans even speculated that Erica wasn't the first to face this kind of situation with him. The narrative began to shift. As Mendeecees hiding more than just one secret? Erica, seeing the chaos unfold, posted another message. This time, a photo of a crib being built with the caption, "Getting ready regardless of who steps up." It was a direct hit at Mendeecees. It was obvious that she wasn't going to wait for him to take responsibility. While some fans questioned her methods, others admired her strength. However, as the drama intensified, Viv One's producers saw an opportunity. And rumors started to circulate that they wanted to film an emergency taping with all three parties involved. Insiders claimed that Erica agreed right away, while Mendeecees was hesitant and Yandy initially refused. But after some discussion, Erica posted another story, this time a sonogram picture with a voice note playing over it. It was a baby's heartbeat, and the caption read, "Every beat reminds me why I'm speaking up." The message hit hard, she wrote. The idea of all three being in the same room confronting the truth on camera was almost too much to handle. The internet was preparing for impact as the countdown to the confrontation began, and emotions were running high. The day of the sit-down taping finally came, and the tension was so intense that it could have been cut with a knife. The set was dimly lit with just enough glow to capture the expressions on everyone's faces. Cameras were rolling, producers were on edge, and the atmosphere backstage was like a pressure cooker ready to explode. Whether they supported Erica Yandy or not, everyone wanted the truth. And it felt like the truth was finally on its way, whether anyone was ready for it or not. Erica arrived first, wearing a simple black outfit, her belly showing just enough to remind she appeared composed on the outside. But anyone who paid close attention could see that her hands were shaking a little as she gripped her phone. 10 minutes later, Mendeecees arrived, looking more anxious than anyone had ever seen him. He kept checking his watch, pacing, and rubbing his forehead. The producers tried to calm him down, but he refused. "I didn't sign up for this circus," he muttered to himself. But he made no attempt to leave because he knew that doing so would only make matters worse. Finally, Yandy arrived last, and she entered chin high without saying anything. The three of them were led into the room one by one, with Erica sitting on the left, Yandy on the right, and Mendeecees in the middle. There was no moderator, just three chairs. And the terrible weight of unresolved tension filled the room until finally Erica broke it. "So are we doing this or not?" Her voice was firm, but her eyes showed her vulnerability. Men cleared his throat, Mendeecees shook his head slowly, trying to keep his voice level. I never said the baby wasn't mine. I said the situation is messy, and it is that you went public before we even had a chance to deal with this privately. Erica cut in sharply. No, you ignored me. I tried to reach out. I tried to keep it between us. Yo, ghosted me like I was some groupie. Yandy scoffed. Start with the truth. Perhaps Erica leaned forward, but I already told my side. I'm not here to argue, so I've been in worse shoes, and believe me when I say that betrayal doesn't come with a manual. I did what I had to do, and Yandy folded her arms and drove this all over social media. Erica turned to her voice quieter now, and said, I didn't want to hurt you. I really didn't. I know how this looks, but put yourself in my shoes. I'm pregnant, I'm scared, and the man who might be the father is acting like I don't exist. Yandy's eyes were filled with tears, but she blinked them away before they could fall. Erica laughed bitterly. You star real. Starmans, your whole life is a show. That line hurt, and for a moment the room was silent again until Yandy whispered almost to herself. Was that all? Men spoke. Finally spoke, his voice tight, saying, I made mistakes, I'm not proud of them, but I didn't ask for all this noise. The producers who were watching from the monitor knew they had struck gold when they saw the raw emotion, the confrontation, and the heartbreak, and the cameras were recording every second. Fans were going crazy as they watched the leaked preview clips, and everyone had chosen a side. And the internet was ablaze with arguments between Team Yandy and Team Erica and Mendeecees. Is it ever real? Men asked, softening their gazes at her eyes. These are the official knee results, Erica said, taking a small folder from her bag. These are the official knee results. She handed over to Mendeecees, who hesitated before taking the papers and starting to read. The silence lasted for what seemed like minutes. Then he closed the folder and looked up. It's mine, he said simply. Yandy closed her eyes and exhaled sharply, but Erica didn't flinch because she had known the truth. The room felt like it had split in two. So what now? Yandy stood up and paced a little, saying, Damn right it, job. Be honest. Job to be honest, and you couldn't even do that. Held you down through prison drama and everything, and this is how you repay me. Her voice cracked, and at last a tear fell down her cheek. I was fighting for us while you were sneaking around. Erica looked away, giving Yang disappear moment. To disappear temples.s rubbed his anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. I'll take responsibility, she said. Yandy turned to him and shook her head, saying, I'm dogfighting.ng. I'm done fighting you. 2 figures made. Whatever mess you made, I need time. The producers called for a break, but the damage had already been done. Outside the studio, Yandy's car was surrounded by paparazzi. She kept her head down, but one reporter was able to interrupt her. Please forgive me, she said softly, but don't blame me for the choices he made. Are you going to LANSWER.M? She didn't swear she didn't have to her SIL ENC statement.D. Meanwhile, inside chair, sat alone in her chair staring at the EMP bin.PA, then where Yandy HS poke.N, Mendeecees, finally SP wanted.is, isn't what I weem. DT I read.A looked. At himtiremade.T, it's what you made the EP interview. The pressure to get her intense.N camera grew intense Mona Sout. T herself reached out Livisod, your email that said even if you just have 5 minutes to close out the chapter. The fans need to hear from you, so don't say anything you're not ready to express. She wasn't ready yet. Not when every action she took would be scrutinized by millions of people. And not when she was still attempting to determine whether her relationship had ever been genuine. Back in the city, Mendeecees attempted to contact both women, sending lengthy texts to Yandy expressing regret and pleading. He promised to take responsibility for the baby and be there for Erica, but he never crossed the line again. He told Yandy that she was his world and that what they had couldn't be erased. But the messages were left on read. He tried calling straight to voicemail and even showed up outside her friend's house once. But the door never opened. She needed time, and he had to respect that even if it was killing him inside. He also tried to make amends with Erica, but those talks didn't go well either. She told him in a heated phone call, "You made this mess. You waking to live like a lives, juggling two lives, and now up at its blowing up surprised. Ting suna, eyes na. You don't get to play confused now." She was angry that he hadn't publicly defended her more, and that he was suddenly trying to act like the victim. She was also angry that she had to bear the burden of public shame while he got to hide behind evasive apologies. Erica blocked his phone at the conclusion of the call. She didn't give a damn about the cameras, the show, or the headlines. As the days went by, new rumors began to circulate. Some said Mendeecees had been seen with an unidentified woman at a lounge in Atlanta. Others said Yandy had moved into a new apartment and was already meeting with a divorce lawyer. Even Erica's name was dragged into new rumors, with blogs claiming she had a secret boyfriend all along and the baby. She knew that once the baby was born, everything would change again. And she wasn't going to let the same man who had abandoned her during her pregnancy walk in and pretend to be a hero unless he earned it. In the world of reality TV, perception was everything, and this plot was getting out of control. A few producers suggested that the three of them film scenes separately in an attempt to piece the story together without putting them in the same room. Menk agreed. Erica reluctantly said yes, and Yandy didn't reply. However, just when everyone thought she was done for good, she posted a single black screen on her Instagram story with the words, "Sometimes silence is strength, but I will talk soon." The internet is wild. Wild blogs reposted it within minutes. Fans flooded the comments with support and curiosity. Why even? The official They1 page reposted it with the caption, "We're listening. NG Queen." A week later, she arrived at the studio with her team without any cameras or announcements. She asked for a private, unedited confessional, but there were no producers present. She sat down, took a deep breath, and began talking. Her voice was low, calm, and firm, and she didn't hold back as she talked about the betrayal, the pain, and the sleepless nights. She also talked about how tired she was of fighting for a man who didn't know how to fight for her. Tired of being the strong one, and tired of acting like everything was fine. Her eyes welled up as she said, "I built a life with him while standing by him when everyone told me not to." And now she paused, took a breath, and then said, "But I'm not bitter. I'm not angry anymore. I'm just done. Now I'm left picking up the pieces of something I didn't break." She concluded the confessional by stating that she would always act in her children's best interests, which at the moment meant preserving her peace no matter what. It was honest and genuine, and when it was broadcast online, millions of people watched, millions wept, and millions cheered. The plot had changed once, from scandal to strength, and although some fans still wanted Mena and Yandy to get back together, the majority felt that she deserved better. In the meantime, Erica remained silent that week, posting nothing new and making no statements. She was focused on surviving the last few weeks of her pregnancy and wasn't going to let the noise distract her. Mendeecees watched Yandy's confessional by himself in his apartment. He didn't say anything, just stared at the screen with tears in his eyes. The public might forgive him eventually, and the network might spin it into redemption. But deep down, he knew he had lost the one thing he thought he could always rely on. Of his actions collapsing all at once, he had broken something that might never be fixed. He had destroyed trust that took years to build, and now he had to live with that truth. The three of them found themselves on different paths, connected by scandal, but separated pain. The baby would be born into chaos, but maybe also in clarity, ity. Because what had begun as a secret had become a reckoning, and the story wasn't finished. Yet they went on for weeks, And even though the media frenzy had begun to slow down, the real-life repercussions were only getting worse. Yandy had formally moved out of the shared house, choosing a smaller, more private space in a gated community where she was difficult for paparazzi to reach. She kept her circle close, limiting who could visit and who knew where she was. 4. The first time in years she was making her own decisions without hesitation. The show offers interview requests and brand deals kept coming in, but she turned them down. The majority of them focused on healing rather than making headlines. But Ninbei found himself in a downward spiral after Yandy left and Erica stopped talking. He was left to deal with his guilt and thoughts alone, so he tried to put himself into work by attending meetings and acting like he still had control, but his mind was always wandering. Every studio session, every event, and every night at home felt empty, and he missed his kids, the comfort of family dinners, and the way Yandy used to check in on him only by looking. Erica was nearing the end of her pregnancy, and although her body was exhausted, her mind was sharper than ever. She spent long hours journaling, trying to process everything. Her baby shower had been canceled because of all the chaos, but a few of her friends still came over to throw her a quiet, private celebration with no cameras, no drama, just love. She smiled more that day than she had in months. But even in those peaceful moments, there was a lingering weight. What kind of world was she bringing her child into? And what kind of father would Mendeecees really be? The news of the baby's birth leaked just a day later, and Erica wrote, "She dis peace, peace, I de peace. Peace, we'll figure out the rest later." When the baby finally arrived, a healthy baby girl with a full head of hair, Erica felt a mixture of joy and dread. She held her daughter close and cried silently, not from pain, but from everything she'd been carrying inside. She sent a short message to Mendeecees saying, "Sheer, safe, and safe healthy." He immediately replied, "She's safe and safe healthy." Headlines exploded again after a nurse identified Erica and alerted a local blogger. Mendeecees' new daughter arrives amid family chaos and Erica gives birth. Yandy is silent on social media. The timing couldn't be worse. Yandy had just begun to open up again and try to move forward slowly. She didn't publicly respond to the news. But close sources claimed that she broke down when she saw the baby's photo online. This wasn't because she was jealous, but rather because it made everything. So, final. Producers reached out again, hoping for a special episode that would document the baby's arrival and the next chapter in the story. Erica flatly refused, and Yandy didn't even respond. But only Men showed up for a solo shoot where he talked about becoming a father again, how he wanted to do things right this time, and how he was learning from his mistakes. The segment was emotional, but it was also full of contradictions. He talked about growth, but the online comments quickly pointed out that he hadn't really done much to prove it was all just words. Once again, the network started to change course. The storyline of redemption and co-parenting depicted MS as a man attempting to reunite his family. They even proposed a miniseries and even a therapy-focused spin-off. But Yandy didn't want to be involved because, to her, the cameras had already taken too much. She wanted healing to be a spectacle. She wanted true peace. And she wanted her children to grow up away from the chaos. Despite this, she was unable to completely leave the show. Fans followed her everywhere, both online and in person. Every time she went out, phones rang. The comments exploded. Some people pleaded with her to forgive him, while others praised her for leaving, but all of that kept pulling her back into a story she was trying to wrap up. Her children even began to ask why they were being talked about and why they didn't live with their father anymore. She did everything she could to keep them safe, but it was obvious that the damage had spread to everyone. Men tried to get in touch with her again after the baby was born. He sent gifts, flowers, and voice notes. He even wrote a letter that was delivered to Yandy's new home, in which he confessed all of his lies, fears, and cowardice. He said he understood if she never wanted to see him again, But he asked for one thing: let me prove to you that I can. Be better, not for us or our children. Yandy read the letter by herself in her room, crying once more. But this time she did so because she was tired of always having to make decisions about what would happen next. Weeks went by and the media buzz a new fans moved on. But behind closed doors, the three of them were still dealing with the fallout. Erica chose to raise her daughter in peace and away from the spotlight, and she even thought about moving out of state and starting over somewhere no one knew her name. Yandy went back to her nonprofit work, helping young girls find their voice, which felt more personal than ever. At the same time, Mendeecees began going to therapy. There were no cameras, no crew, just him and the weight of his decisions. There were 3 people bound by broken trust and a baby girl who didn't ask for any of this. And slowly, without anyone noticing, the noise started to fade. Then, suddenly, Valve 1 announced a surprise reunion LA episode. One night only, raw, unscripted, no filters. The promo featured clips of old memories, tears, laughter, and even a few shots from the recent confessional tapes. Fans were excited, and everyone wondered if all 3 would show. Yandy allowed Mendeecees to see the kids, but only under supervision. Erica let him visit the baby once, but she made it clear that she was in control. When the reunion night finally arrived, the studio was packed, security was tight. Cameras were rolling from every direction, and men walked in first wearing a simple black hoodie. Looking calm but nervous, then Erica holding her daughter in front of a small group of friends. Finally, just when everyone thought she wasn't coming, Yandy stepped onto the stage and the room fell silent. She sat down slowly, looked around, and simply said, "I'm here." Because sometimes the loudest endings are the ones that occur in silence. And sometimes closure doesn't look like forgiveness, but rather like walking away stronger than before. After the reunion was over and the lights went down, the story was about 3 people finally facing the truth, raw, exposed, and unfiltered. Not for drama, not for ratings, and not for closure. Mendeecees, Yandy, and Erica each followed their own paths. But the effects of their choices would reverberate for years on social media. The journey from denial to confrontation, from heartbreak. 2 hard truths had been lengthy, messy, and unforgettable. Fans who had followed every turn were left with mixed emotions. Some felt closure, while others wanted more. However, one thing was certain. This wasn't just another love and hip-hop drama. Fans who had taken sides from the start have been responding with debates and support. Some have called it redemption, while others have seen it as the last nail in the coffin. However, everyone knew deep down that they had just witnessed something raw and different. Now, we want to hear your thoughts on everything that transpired. Was Men telling the truth? Did Yandy make the right decision by stepping away? What about Erica? Was her decision to go public brave or calculated? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below, as this story is far from over. Because there's always more to love, lies, and dinner tests than meets the eye. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more jaw-dropping updates. Untold stories and behind-the-scenes drama that the networks won't show you. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss another twist. Till the next time, stay tuned, stay curious, and remember that sometimes the real story begins when the cameras stop rolling. The comment section was a battlefield with fans devastated, angry, and stunned. Some praised Erica for *minx. On the other hand, faced a barrage of criticism. Memes flooded social media, one of which featured men with the caption, "Can't spell." Men without messes. Yandy received an outpouring of love and support after going public. Fans posted clips of her speech and tagged her with messages like, "Yo way weather better and stay strong, queen." Another featured Yandy wearing a crown and read "Unbothered royalty." It wasn't just online reactions. Brand deals were halted, endorsements were withdrawn, and insiders hinted that Veil One was thinking of re-editing future episodes to reflect the fallout. The scandal had taken on a life of its own. In the days that followed, Erica shared multiple updates about her journey to prepare the baby's nursery without naming names, while Yandy remained silent. Fans wondered if she had moved out, filed for separation, or was simply attempting to heal. DCS posted a mysterious video of himself at a church with the remark, "looking for tranquility." However, friends of the couple started speaking out anonymously, claiming that Yandy was taken by surprise. She knew that things weren't perfect, but she didn't see this coming. Another insider close to Erica stated that she didn't go into this to destroy anyone. She just didn't want to be ignored. She wanted her child to be knowledgeable. An individual claiming to be Erica's cousin went live on Instagram, displaying screenshots of alleged old messages between Men and Erica. In them, he is seen calling her beautiful, telling her that he can't stop thinking about that night, and even saying, "I wish things were different." With emotions running high and no clear resolution in sight, the world kept watching, waiting to see what would happen next. Fans suffered harm regardless of whether the screenshots were authentic or not. One thing became painfully clear as the dust settled from the interview, the dinner test, and the emotional confrontation. Nothing would ever be the same again. The baby hadn't even been born yet, and already the world had drawn battle lines, taken sides, and turned a private scandal into public entertainment. However, behind the memes and the gossip, real lives were falling apart, and the story wasn't over by a long shot. Mendeecees sat by himself in his car for almost an hour after the taping, his phone buzzing constantly with notifications from producers, texts from unidentified numbers, and social media. He closed the app, threw his phone onto the passenger seat, and just stared at the steering wheel in disbelief as he read through the comments, each one hitting harder than the last. He knew that his world was collapsing piece by piece and that there was nothing he could do to stop it. You ruined everything.